Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the Far Cry 5, 3 different endings. Yes, there are 3. One of them you probably went with. That's the one that I'm going to be showing first. The second one, some of you probably went for, depending on your personality. And the third one, you either didn't know about or you knew about because you've played Far Cry games in the past. So with that being said, I just want to get this quick intro out of the way. When this uploads, I think I'm only 1 or 2 episodes in on the gameplay side of Far Cry 5. Reason being is because it took me about 2 weeks to complete the game. I'm assuming that's about what time it'll take the average player. So I wanted to get this out to let people know, hey, there's more than one ending, but there is going to be a spoiler alert here right at the beginning because nothing's happening right now so far in the gameplay. Just wanted to let you know that there is spoilers ahead. But without any further ado, we're going to get into the first ending. I'll let that roll through and then I'll be back to speak again.
And when the Lamb broke the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of the martyrs, slain because of the word of God. You made martyrs of my family, and I am prepared to do the same to yours. I gave you the choice to walk away. You chose not to. In the face of God, I'm making you that offer one last time.
Go in peace. You're fucking insane.
Is he? We never should have been here in the first place.
You know what to do, Rook. Remember. God is watching.
So as you can see, the game didn't really allude to any actual answer. It pretty much just leaves it open to your interpretation. Quite literally, the sheriff says to you, you know what to do, Rook. So from here, the guy I was playing alongside, Vipers20, aka Cole, he's been in a couple of videos before. We were debating on what to choose and kind of just went with what we had already been doing, which was resisting. We resisted the entire game, and it's kind of weird because the game actually alludes also to the very beginning again. It says, from the beginning I gave you the option to walk away, and you chose not to, and before the face of God, blah, 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 whatever. So what he's getting at is kind of a spoiler for the end of this video in particular. But without any further ado, let's see what happens when you resist.
Every slight, every injustice, and every choice reveals our sin. John was wrong. Your sin is not wrath. So you'd rather watch the world suffer and burn than swallow your pride. And the Lamb broke the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. And the sun became black, and the moon turned to blood. Friends now see the truth. They welcome Eden's gate into their hearts. They will die for me. You have to believe me! Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. And there were noises, thunderings, lightnings, and an earthquake.
Joseph Seed, you're under arrest.
And I heard a great voice from the temple say to the angels, "Go your ways, and pour from the vials. the wrath of God upon the earth. It is finished, child.
Oh my god.
Oh my God! Sing great.
Hudson, you take him back! We gotta go!
He was right.
Shut the fuck up! Get him!
Get moving! Drive! Drive! Drive!
Jesus fucking Christ, kid. You see that shit? Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, get to the goddamn bunker now!
Watch out!
Shut up!
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Everything's on fire! Everything!
What the fuck was that?
Hang on!
We're not gonna make it! We're not gonna make it!
Look out! Tree!
Attention. Attention. This is the emergency broadcast system. Take shelter immediately. Take shelter immediately. This is not a drill. Repeat. This is not a drill.
You know what this means? It means the politicians have been silenced. It means the corporations have been erased. It means the world has been cleansed by God's righteous fire. But most of all, it means I was right. The collapse has come. The world as we know it is over. I waited so long. I waited so long for the prophecy that God whispered in my ear to be fulfilled. I prepared my family for this moment. And you took them from me. I should kill you for what you've done. But you're all I have left now. You're my family. And when the world is ready to be born anew, we will step into the light. I am your father. And you are my child. And together we will march to Eden's gate.
So as you can see there's a really weird situation going on where you end up back at, I think his name is Dutch. Dutch's bunker, hidden away from the nuclear blast. Might seem a bit unrealistic because 2, maybe even 3, I think, nuclear bombs went off there. And I'm going to try to show as much of that as possible without taking up too much of you guys' time. Just wanted to let you know like what happens and let you watch it if you haven't gotten there yet and you're anticipating. Or if you've watched your ending and you're curious what the other ones were like, well, here you go. So what happened there at the end was that he basically declared you his son because you're basically all he has left at this point because you've killed off the rest of his family and he's initiated what he intended to initiate. So now you're just going to sit in the bunker. And something that I thought was kind of interesting that some people may have missed is that right there at the very end, you get two little notifications that you're trying to pick something up, the Fast and the Furious. I don't know if that's like a little Easter egg for the Fast and Furious movies or not, because those are two things that you can create in the game that give you, I think, increased melee damage and increased speed. They're like hallucinogens that you take and cause that. It's interesting to me, though, that your character tried to pick those up. I don't know what that means, if it means that DLC could start from there and we could go from that point on, or if maybe there's a sequel where you start off in the bunker. There tons of theories could be produced from that, but I just wanted to go ahead and intro the next ending, probably the second most likely, assuming you played through the entire game and got to the end. If you were resisting the entire time, then odds are you would have continued to resist, but this is what happens when you choose simply to walk away. So without any further ado, let's see that option.
Judge not, and you will not be judged. Condemn not, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Take your friends, my child, and go. Brooke, let's go.
What? What are you doing? Brooke. Sheriff,
Get in the truck.
I'm not leaving.
Hudson, get in the truck.
You lost your fucking mind.
Get in the goddamn truck! Sometimes it's best to just leave well enough alone. Let's go.
Sir, with all due respect, what the fuck? We can't just leave those people.
We're not gonna leave those people. We're going to Missoula. We're gonna get the National Guard and we're gonna bring the hammer down on that goddamn place.
No way. I'm not gonna be a part of this. You heard what he said.
You're gonna do exactly as you're told, Pratt.
Only you
What's wrong?
can make all this world seem.
Okay, so to break down that ending really quickly, what ended up happening is that we walk away. We gave up. We got to the very end of the game. We approached the father. We were going to just basically confront him for what he is, who he is as a man, and what he's done to these people. And then we decide to walk away. And what ends up happening is there's a bit of an argument between the sheriff and whatever her name was. I cannot remember for the life of me. But there's an argument between them briefly. It's more or less decided that they just need to leave and that they're going to go. They're going to get the National Guard. They're going to come back with the full force of the law to come down on them. And to sort of celebrate the fact that they got out alive, and I guess to relieve tension a bit, the sheriff leans in and turns on the radio. You hear the ending of a song and the beginning of another song, and that song will sound familiar to you if you completed Jacob's Region, which, to get to this point in the game, you had to. So, if you haven't completed Jacob's Region yet, obviously, again, spoilers, but that's the song that Jacob uses to sort of drive you insane from the little music box that he carries around. Only you. It's more or less determined from the beginning of the game that you are the white horse. You were the only one to break the sixth seal, quote unquote. You are the lamb, you are the white horse. Just this embodiment of the beginning of the end. So now what we're gonna do is go back to the very beginning of the game, the one that you're either most familiar with or you're least familiar with, depending on how much research you've done into the game and how many Far Cry's you've played in the past, but there's pretty much always a little Easter egg into finishing the game very early from the get-go. The way to do that is to simply refuse to cuff the father. At the very beginning, you can handcuff him. If you just sit there and wait long enough, the game will trigger the ending. Really, it literally just ends right then and there, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So without any further ado, here's that third and final ending.
And behold, it was White Horse. And hell followed with him.
Rookie, cuff this son of a bitch.
God will not let you take me.
Rook, put the cuffs on him.
We're leaving, Rook.
What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Sheriff, get back there.
Shut up and listen! You put those cuffs on him. None of us get out of here alive.
I will have you all arrested.
So be it.
So that was the third and final ending, and what happens there is you refuse to arrest him. You stop resisting from the beginning. Before there is anything to resist, you just give in. And Cole and I, who played through this game, found it interesting that, I don't know, it invokes this emotion of victory in you, when really you didn't win anything. You just gave up from the very beginning. And it's this weird, I don't know, there's this weird message there that we took away of just, I don't know, it's just strange to me, because you want to resist, you want to fight against this guy, he seems so terrible, but really the easiest way, and the way that leads to the least carnage, the least damage, and the least amount of heartache and pain and suffering is just to give up, to never fight in the first place. So this was a really interesting game. There's 3 different endings. If you enjoyed watching all 3 of them, feel free to drop a like on the video. If you're a subscriber and you're returning, thank you, welcome back. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to consider doing that, because there's going to be lots of stuff in the future coming to the channel. A couple of videos that aren't necessarily gaming related that I'm really excited to make in the future that I just have yet to have time to do, but I'm looking forward to making them. So if you didn't like the video, you don't like Far Cry 5, you don't like the Far Cry series, for whatever reason, feel free to dislike, but if you do, fuck you, and as always, be sure to enjoy yourselves, and until the next video or live stream, because it's tend to do a little bit of both, stay frosty and stay humble.
Our neighbors frail